So I was thinking about myself and I was just like, I have such an excitement for life, right? I enjoy living. And I think what made me come to this conclusion is because I had a moment of basically just kind of that made me feel so little and low, right? And I'm like somebody who's so focused on evolution and evolving as an individual and being the best version of myself and da 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 da. And I'm like, why would I then feel a certain way to have certain thoughts, even if for a moment? But that's the paradox, I feel, is that the paradox is there to show us that you only have excitement for life because you had a moment of lack of excitement of life, if that makes sense. Like, it's like how they say, like, being poor makes you, um, you know, not take for granted being rich, right? Or just having, like, you know how we take things for granted because it's easy to take things for granted. And I think that's what we can use paradoxes for, is to show us that, okay, now life could not, could be one way, life could be different, life could be very different if you so choose fit, right? And in that moment I'm like, I'm choosing to be this way, but all this time that I've chosen life of excitement of doing it, just waking up, and I know that it can be surreal in a lot of ways. Like, people don't think I'm real. People think that my personality is like fake, especially when it's like over text or when I'm posting these things, because I know that I was just allowing myself to be a certain way due to certain circumstances. And I think that that again is the paradox of taking things for granted. You can use paradoxical situations to kind of make yourself that much more grateful, right? Make yourself that much more aware of the options that you have, because you could easily be a depressed individual. You could easily be these things, right? But why when you have the option not to be? Why when you have clearly been a certain way for so long, and now you don't like crying your eyes out. You don't like feeling low. You don't like venting about the same stuff over and over and not getting a different result. You don't like going and putting yourself in these different positions. You don't like doing certain things, and all of the things that you see that you don't like point out the things that you do like. Yeah, it's a long way to go about things. Yeah, there are easier routes to figuring out what you do like, but as humans, we tend to do these things. We tend to put ourselves in situations that create a way of us having to kind of judge it based off of, again, the paradox. Okay, if it's not this, then it's that. The only reason you can say that you are ugly is because you know that there are pretty people. I had somebody say, it's not fair to other girls. This was on TikTok. It's not fair to other girls that you exist. And one, I don't really take pride, or I don't take the likes of putting other people down to put me up. But in seeing that comment, it made me think, and I commented back. I was like, because they exist, you can say that I'm attractive, or because they exist, the only reason that you can even put me up is because you put somebody else down. You know what I'm saying? The only reason you can compare me to anything is because there's something to compare to. So because you've compared me to something in general, which I don't think I'm comparable, but because you've compared me to something in general, is to say that they exist, and their existence is just as valid as mine. Their existence is just as prevalent. Their existence is just as important as mine. You just said that based off of your comment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can look at yourself in a light that is not so self-deprecating or so, um what's the word, like, victim like, because I've seen where, like, people in my position or that have been through some of the things that I've been through, I could easily be a victim, right? I've tried it. It's actually harder to be a victim than to be not a victim, right? It's harder because you got to find the source of ego stroking. That's not hard to find at all. But to keep that up, and to live life where there are people who aren't being that way, that's a challenge. That's a task. Honestly, it depends on your perspective, because it could very well be easy to be a victim, especially if you've had the proper training and you grew up in an environment where that was the norm. I didn't grow up in an environment where that was a norm, so it was kind of hard for me because given that I look different, given that I, had to go through all the things, all the surgeries, all the therapies, all the learning how to walk again, talk again, all these things. The number one thing that I grew up was that life's not fair. Life's not fair. It is what it is, and we're gonna treat you just as normal as anybody else. We're not gonna treat you any different. You're not gonna be coddled. You're not gonna be babied. Especially being the oldest. You're not gonna. It is what it is. So I think that's also why I've developed such a knack for not being the victim, because it's like, it's pointless. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get a hug. You're not going to get a kiss based off of it. You might as well just be who you are, live the life that you have, that you were so graciously gifted, to live, and just move on with your life. Keep evolving, keep growing, and move on with your life. But to sit and dwell and to be a certain way for the likes of an ego stroke, or to be a victim, or to be just to even be sad, because the emotions are addictive, right? Some people look to be sad so much, so easy. There was a comment I left on a video. They were like, "Oh my gosh, guess who died?" And the lady was like, "Oh." She's like, "Who?" I'm like, the girl starts laughing. Oh, and I commented, I'm like, bro, people be so eager to be sad. Like, why were you so excited to be sad? People be more excited about somebody dying to hear about a death so that they can go cry and wail about it, than to be excited for somebody when they start a business or when they do something successful. Those are the type of people you do not want to be around. And the only reason I know that they exist is because I exist, or people who have done the things that I aim to do exist. So therefore, because of them, I have to thank the lowly, because therefore they highlight the highly for me. There wouldn't be a difference. It would just be, right? They just are. In our world, we need that kind of contrast so that we can acknowledge and kind of be thankful and grateful for, the existence of something that is different from the things that we don't want, the things that we take for granted, because we don't have that contrast, or we don't see that there's a worse option, there's a worser option. There's a it could be what do people say? People say, like, it could be worse. I think people do that on a smaller scale of using the paradox of just, you know um understanding, like, you don't take it for granted, or you're taking it for granted. So stop or change or switch directions, which is also the beauty of life, that we can switch directions, that we do have an option to change how we show up, when we show up, to change how authentic or lack thereof we can be, as authentic as we want to be. You don't need permission from anyone to do it. All you need to do is acknowledge that you do have those options, and that you can be, what's the word, like, you can be unapologetically yourself, and you don't need anyone's confirmation to do it. And I think that a lot of times, that because the way we grow up and the way that we're kind of like shaped and transformed, is because you have to understand, hurt people, and hurt people want hurt people will happily create other hurt people, right? There are people who will put you down to the point of nothing, till you're lower than them, because they feel like they're doing a good job. They're so good at being a hurt person. It's like, look, mom, look what I made a replica of myself. Do you want to be somebody's hurt replica? Do you want to be somebody's battered Barbie? No, you don't. But if you stay stuck, or if you get to a point where you're not moving, or in flow, or in motion, or being yourself, in spite of someone coming on your video and leaving a nasty comment, in spite of someone talking ish about you, sharing your video with their little lowly friend group, and just saying whatever they're going to say, right? Who cares? The world's going to keep spinning. Who cares? I don't care if somebody gets on my channel and they're like, they have something negative or ill to say about me. I don't care. Because guess what? I get to wake up and be myself every day, and they have to wake up and be themselves. And not to say that their existence is any less important than mine, but at least I choose my existence. I choose how I show up in the world. They're not choosing, they're just letting whatever move through them. They're letting probably the head of their pack, whoever the pack is. And the pack was formed by the pack's parents, and the pack's parents, where you think about it, the pack's parents were shaped by their jobs. They're the whoever ran that business. Think about what the process of things. Think about how things are ever evolving and ever revolving. You have to understand that if you allow, people to shape your mind. Sorry, I got a text message. If you allow people to shape your mind how they want, then you're just going to be a mini someone else. You're going to have a little mini me. Yeah. And probably somewhere telling their other friends, like, yeah, I made her. She only does that because of me. You know how when you steal somebody, or not steal, but whenever you use somebody's lingo accidentally because you've been around them so long, and they're like, that was my word. That's people pointing out that they've basically tuned you. You know, they've basically shaped you into this version of yourself that you didn't even realize you were becoming based off of being around them. And a lot of times it's like, oh, we're in sync. Oh, we're that's so alignment. I mean, yeah, you've aligned all right. That's alignment for sure. But what are you aligning with? I would rather align with somebody who says I'm a multimillionaire every day than align with somebody who says I can't. I hate the word can't. I hate that I've even adopted it at a certain point in time in my life. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I used to not say the word at all. It used to not be allowed in my household. Yet you get to a certain point where you got to be out into the world by yourself, and you get unaware, or you get weak, or you let your guard down, or you let other people determine who you are, and it seeps in little by little. That's why you have to be aware, so you don't end up saying things like I can't. You can do anything. You can do absolutely anything. You can do the best of the best things. You can do the worst of the worst things. You can do anything. Saying I can't is quite literally like saying, oh, I'm disconnected, I don't exist. That's a lie. It's quite literally not true. If you didn't exist, you'd be dead. If you weren't connected, you'd be dead. If you were disconnected, you'd be dead. Think about it. The creator does not make anything for no reason. These things are not by chance. They are by design. You have to live by design. Design your life. Design your life based off of how you want. That was the whole point of me mentioning in my other video about me when it comes to my hair. Like, somebody was like, I like you natural. I don't care what you like. That's fine and dandy. I like me however I want me. If I want to wear my hair natural one day, I will. If I want to wear my hair red one day, I will. What are you talking about? You like me natural. That's cool and all, but this is my avatar. I'm waking up every day and living my life by design, on purpose, with intentionality, because I can, because I have the right, because it is my birthright to do so. Because it quite literally would be a waste of existence if I didn't. Think about it. Come on. I think it's so cool too. There's this YouTuber that I watch, and he says like, by the time that anybody actually catches up, by the time anybody, realizes like, oh my gosh, that you're at a certain point, or that he's at a certain point, he's already doubled it. By the time I look up and say that I have 700, thousand subscribers, by the time the 700,000 subscribers comes into fruition, I will be at a million in my head. By the time a million comes into fruition, I will be at 1.5 million. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be go up and up and up and up and up. And this is not just about followers and subscribers. This is about finances too. This is about frequency too. This is about anything that I say that I want more of, that I want to design or live by design. This is how you live by design. You make up your mind and you do it. Of course, um, there's no absolute way to do anything. There is no carbon copy one way to do anything. The way to do it is just to follow your intuition. Follow your intuition, use your discernment, and if you align with someone like me, for instance, right? If you see me and you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling exactly what she's saying. I like that. I like what she has to say. Then you use what I have to say and go do it yourself. Do exactly that, but do it in your own way. Show up authentically, because someone like me, you aligned with me, and I'm encouraging you to do so by doing it myself, and then go do it, because not only am I lighting your flame, but then you would go light other flames, right? Like that's that's the beauty of all of this. I love that. I love that so much. I love that so much. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Is that not cool to y'all? Like, the fact that just by existing you can change someone's entire life. You can basically change to someone's DNA or their brain chemistry. That's why I say I like giving compliments, because you can just see their face literally change. I had a girl that I said that I liked. I think it was something about her outfit or something, or her hair. I liked her hair. We were in the bathroom, and I said that I liked her hair, and she would you could like, her face went from like saggy and like, down to just like you would have thought I watered a plant that hadn't been watered in like years, or however long a plant can go without being watered, without dying. But you know what I mean? Like, she was very wilted, and I didn't think, I didn't notice her to be that. I just liked her hair. Y'all, the girl lit up like a candle. Like, I lit her flame. Like, I quite literally saw her wig was out and was like, That makes me feel good. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I think that that's part of my purpose in a lot of ways. That's the purpose I'm giving myself, is to be the light in people's. That's my only tattoo. I got this tattoo when I was I think 18, 19, and I got it just to see if I, just to be cool. My friends were getting tattoos, and I'm like, I want to be a little rebel, but I'm like, if I got 40+% of my body with skin grass, I'm getting a tattoo. So I did it, and I didn't do it since. But that's my only tattoo, and it's a freaking sun. It's a light, and I've been called a light my whole life. And then recently I got called a flame recently, and I'm like, oh. And then to have the red hair, like, whoa, like, talk about alignment. Talk about alignment. I love it. I love synchronicities. I love alignment. I love when the stars align. I do. And I plan to show up even more authentic than I already am. Every day being more and more of myself, because I know that that is going to allow other people to be even more and more of themselves. And imagine a world where, excuse me, where everybody's doing exactly what God intended them to do. The creator created us to do, which is be ourselves. That's quite literally it. There's no big picture. I mean, big, shebang. That's it. We're all just meant to be ourselves. We're all just meant to exude the best aspects of ourselves and bring out the best in each other. I wholeheartedly believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that that is the purpose of us all being on earth, is to bring out the best in each other. And that just makes me wonder, um, just how how else can I go about doing this? It makes my mind, it makes my mind wonder. It makes my mind start to go, what else can I do? How else can I be? What else can I create? What part of the world can I travel to so people can meet somebody like me? One time is two times is like okay, who you hear that from? Three times from three different sources at three different points in my life to tell me that I'm selfish for not expressing, for not being myself authentically, because they got a glimpse of my authenticity and they were like, whoa. And they were like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And I know people, you know, anybody can say anything, but it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. It's the energy behind them saying it. The fact that they were so moved, the fact that my compliments alone move people, quite literally shifts their reality, shifts them into a version of themselves that they didn't even think could exist. I've talked to life into strangers who told me that they were on their 13th reason and I just knocked them down to 6. And I'm like, well, we need to get that to 0. You don't need no reasons to do anything that any of that. But if they didn't meet me, and if they did meet me and I wasn't being my authentic self, oh my God, imagine what would have happened. And no, I wouldn't have known. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, think about that. I'm just thinking about all the other times that oh my God, like, no, we need to be ourselves. We have to be ourselves. We save lives just being ourselves. We change lives. And not to say, in the most, detrimental way, like to save a life, but saving a life, people be dead men walking. People give up, like I said, at the ripe age of 20 something, and they be done. Like, oh, I'm giving up. I've been battered. I've been beat down. Oh, woe is me. Girl, boy, come on. Life is too good. Life is too good. Life is too good. And life is only good to you once you're good to life. Life will change the way it looks at you when you change the way that you look at life. The way you change the way you look at life is simple. It's simple. You just make up your mind and you do it. Well, I was raped and I was beat and I was this and that and I had, but you survived, right? So you're here and you're still gonna replay the same pain remembrance, ruminating, movie in your head over and over and over, your brain does not know the difference. Time does not exist. So therefore, if you're remembering that same event, that same low event every day or every other day in your mind, that's why your life looks the way it looks. Now, what if you use that same magic to make it something up? Life is good. Life is good. Just because it's bad, when you make up your mind and say that it's good, does not mean it's going to stay bad. It has to align with what you're saying and what you're thinking. Try it out. Try it out. Think of it like like ordering a burger, right? Like I ordered a burger earlier, right? And I actually posted it to my story, or my I think it was my story, or the little thing where you put on Instagram, little thought thing. Yeah, I was like, I want a burger. And I posted that, but everything in my being did not want a burger at the time. I wanted a burger, but I didn't want to have to go through the necessary steps to get my cars down. I would have had to Uber it or DoorDash it or Uber to the place and get the burger. It was just a number of things that I did not have allow myself the luxury of thinking about in the moment to even fully order it. I already had food made, so I didn't align fully with wanting a burger. I wanted a burger. I was hungry. I wanted a burger. I had the thought, but physically I didn't align with wanting a burger. So therefore I didn't get the burger, right? But today, notification's still up there and I still want a burger, and I'm like, okay, it's time to eat again. Well, this time I'm gonna take that extra step and I'm gonna actually go look for places to get burgers. Okay, so I'm not gonna Uber there. I made up my mind not to Uber there. So I'm making my mind I'm gonna DoorDash the food to me. So now I'm gonna find what makes the most sense. I ended up finding a deal for two burgers for two burgers, and I mean they were huge. Y'all, I hit the jackpot. I hit the burger gold mine because I aligned with exactly what I wanted. I said I wanted a juicy burger. I wanted it to be a smash burger. I didn't want to have to pay for overpriced. I paid $15 for two gigantic burgers, whereas the order ended up being like 30 for another. And just to test it out, I went and like looked it up. And, it wasn't even about the money. It was the fact that I said that I wanted something and I got it. I not even wanted it, because me wanting it was just I wanted it yesterday and I didn't get it, right? It was the entire formula completed, the equation that I completed by um pressing place order. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to quite literally manifest these things that you want. My day could have been considered bad because I didn't get my burger, but I also didn't do all the steps needed to get the burger. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do all the steps needed to have a good life. You can, after you determine that, okay, my life's, I've created a bad life up until this point. You have to then make up your mind. Okay, I do want a good life. What next? Okay, I do want a good life. What does a good life look like? What if a good life looks like, okay, I bed rot? I'm not gonna bed. But yeah, what if your new reality that you're looking to manifest is the opposite of that? What if instead of bed rotting, you were like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go make me some avocado toast and some coffee, and then I'm gonna go back to bed, or whatever. You just do something else with your day. But what if that was let's just start with that, right? What do you now? The question would be, what do you have to do to bring that into fruition, to create that world for yourself? You just have to make up your mind. You have to make up your mind, and the rest will align naturally. Because now your spirit, your mind, I mean your spirit and your body are with it. But you have to tell your body to get up. Creator already gave you the spirit through your body. So you waking up in the morning is like, okay, boom, that's a spiritual, okay. Your new reality required the basis of your new reality is basically, okay, waking up and going, instead of bed riding, I'm gonna go get coffee and I'm gonna go get avocado toast. So okay, spiritually you woke up. All right, we're here. Got breath in your body, life in your lungs, blah blah blah. Physically, okay, my limbs move. They're alive, they move, but they're not getting out of the bed. That's because mentally you haven't made the mind up. You haven't made a decision to get up. I could have wanted a burger all I wanted. If I didn't make the decision to press order, to go physically look for the burger that I wanted, take my time and look for what I wanted and found exactly what I wanted and ordered it, I wouldn't have gotten it. It would have just been a thought floating in the abyss. It would have been a post that I just posted and it was just there. You have to actually go create that world for yourself. Make up your mind to then get up out of bed, and the equation is completed. Do it with me. Do it with me. You open the video, play it in the morning, and be like, okay, she said, okay, I have to make up my mind. If it's not me, go find somebody else. It doesn't matter. But make sure that somebody who's actually putting the power back in your hands, not taking the power out of your hands. No, you don't need to go get a therapist. No, you don't need to, you know, You don't need to do a number of things. What you can do is you can get a life coach. You can get somebody who can do it with you for a little bit and then let you go. But don't go get somebody who's going to create a space for you to be a victim and fall back into the same patterns that you're trying to avoid. You need to, the power is within you. You can do all things. I told you this before. I've said it before. We can do all things. All things through the Creator who strengthens us. All things through the Creator who created us. If we are of the Creator, can't we create things as well? Can't we do all things as well? It's just a matter of, what's the proper phrase? It's just a matter of showing up for yourself. A lot of us have the equation. We're this close to it, but we just don't do that one thing that'll change our lives drastically. And that's just doing it. I know that there are plenty of, how can I say, circumstances that would make us believe that we aren't deserving or capable, but it's just not true. Those are beliefs that you stole. You're a belief thief. You stole them. They aren't yours. Give them back to where they belong. They're not yours. You didn't create them on your own. Why would you create a thought that says you can't do something? Why would you create a thought that says that you aren't capable? Why would you create a thought that says you aren't worthy? Why would you create a thought that says you aren't that girl or that guy? Why would you create a thought that says you're poor? You didn't create that thought. Go give it back. You're a thief. Stop stealing beliefs. You stole a belief. If anything, you're a thief. You're a belief thief. You belief thief hoarder. That's what you are. If anything, you're a belief thief hoarder. And even that's not true. That's not true. Come on, y'all. Y'all can do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to. And honestly, you can be, you don't have to listen to me. You can be exactly where you are. You can stay stuck. You can stay complacent. You can stay mundane. You can stay these things. But that's why I'm existing. That's why I'm sharing my unpopular opinions or my unique perspective, because some people have never been exposed to somebody like me. Some people have never gotten that kind of tough love or that kind of pep talk that told them that they can do anything, especially from a stranger. Especially from a stranger that actually loves you, loves humanity, loves people, loves evolution, loves the idea of everybody being authentically themselves, right? I had somebody say, I saw somebody say that um, they were like, you should keep those thoughts to yourself, to somebody in the comments or something like that. And I'm like, no, 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 no. They've exposed themselves. They've exposed that this type of thought process exists. Let them speak. Let them speak. If people didn't expose themselves, you wouldn't know to reprimand them. If people didn't expose themselves, you would know that that's not something that you would like or that you would like or want in your life. You have to let those things be just as valid as they are. No, you're not going to be able to police them. No, you're not going to be able to reprimand them always. No, you're not going to be able to fix them. But that's not your job. They have to then do that themselves, right? It's that simple. You just allow yourself to be you. Be yourself as authentically and as wholeheartedly as you can. And just show up. You know? Just show up. I'm excited. My life is quite literally changing before my eyes, and I'm just excited. I'm ready for this next chapter. I'm I'm open to the abundance that my life is basically opening my eyes up to, that I'm being more receptive to. I feel my receivers getting stronger. I feel my mind getting more obedient to me, to what I would like. Not again my flesh, but my highest self, my soul, my spirit, my essence, whatever you want to call it. I am in control. Nothing else is in control. I am in control. And I love that so much. I love that I'm able to show up and speak like this. This is what I was talking about in my other videos. Whatever barrier that I broke through that was keeping me from, speaking and exuding in a way that I can do naturally when I'm not on camera. I think I just had to get past, a certain, maybe it's the whole like speaking to a camera thing, but I do like the idea of doing that. I think also, uh, I believe also that it's this. I'm kind of recording now from like where I can see myself. Before I was recording from my back camera, so I couldn't really see myself, and I was like, like how do I look and my mannerisms? Like even that is still, not as important, but it does help me just make sure I'm in frame. It was not even so much how I look. It's like, am I in frame? I don't want to be talking and I'm not on the camera because we're still visual creatures, And I just wanted to make sure that I don't care how it looks. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that so much as it was. I wanted to make sure that I was on camera, that it was focused, stuff like that. So I think that's what was my insecurity for a little while, was that I wasn't fully being aware, or I wasn't allowed in myself the opportunity to be aware of where I was at in the screen. So I've gotten past that part and I'm loving that. Okay. I'm loving that. And yeah. But yeah, it is Friday, y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm probably not gonna do anything once again. I am breaking out of my hermit mode. I am doing my best to do this. Um, yeah, I don't. I wouldn't even know what to do or where to go, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go do anything, but yeah, I'll see y'all next video. Y'all have fun. Go be your authentic selves and just believe in yourself. And if you need any advice or if you need any help or any guidance on how you can do that, how you can figure out what your authentic self is, just hit me up. I don't mind holding a conversation and just kind of figuring out, because we're all figuring it out, right? Every day we're ever changing. So maybe I can assist you in this next step. I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk to y'all later. Toodles. Yeah, not that flexible.